Hi and hello to Dr. Gobi Krishnan. So this is our final assessment of fundamental maritime operations. Our group chose the question 1, which is the human factors in maritime safety and accidents. Our group member consists of 2 members. The first one is me, Nur Alia Umratin. Lastly is Nur Akisha. So here is the list of content. So through this presentation, we are going to present about the introduction, the influence of human factor, fatigue, training, decision making.
So I'm going to proceed with the introductions. So human factors conclude the spread terms of elements, including the crew competency, fatigue management, communication protocols, decision-making process, and also the organizational culture. So understanding the human factors involved in maritime safety and accidents is important to make sure the well-being of crew members, the protection of valuable cargo, and also the preservation of marine environments. So next, I'm going to proceed with the influence of human factors, which is fatigue on maritime safety and emergency situation. So there are 6 influence in total that we found, which is firstly is response time, error proneness, third is communication breakdowns, fourth cumulative effects, and decreased situational awareness, and lastly diminished memories. So firstly, response time, which is in emergency situation, fatigue can cause a delay in response time. The efficiency of emergency actions can be affected by physical tiredness and delayed decision making. Second is error proneness, which is fatigue can raise the possibility of blunders, such as misinterpreting alerts, making navigational errors, and making other important mistakes that can make the emergency circumstance worse. Third is communication breakdowns. So effective communication is important in emergency situations, which is fatigue can cause misconceptions and communication breakdowns, which can make the emergency response coordination more difficult. And then fourth is cumulative effects. So in the maritime sector, fatigue can frequently build up as a result of extended periods of intense work and a little downtime. The combined effect may cause a chronic weariness, which raises the possibility of human error and subpar performance. The cumulative effect of weariness can be seen as a serious barrier to crisis management during an emergency. And then lastly is fifth is decreased situational awareness. So fatigue can reduce the situational awareness, which makes it more difficult for sailors to remain aware of the surroundings. Retaining a high state of situational awareness is crucial in emergency situation in order to comprehend the changing dynamic and make a wise decision. And then lastly is diminished memories. So fatigue can negatively impact memory consolidation and recall, which in emergency situation being able to remember relevant information such as protocol or the layout of the vessel is important for making informed decision. So next is the influence of training on maritime safety and emergency situations. So uh, in the impact of training on maritime safety and emergency situations, so there are 5, which is firstly decreased emergency response preparedness, unfamiliarity with safety protocol, poor crisis management and decision making, inadequate navigate and seamanship skills, and lastly limited technology proficiency. So firstly, decreased emergency response preparedness, which is the crew members may not know how to correctly carry out the emergency protocols in the event of a crisis if they lack of the necessary training, which could cause the delays and blunders. And then secondly, which is unfamiliarity with safety protocol. So the accident risk may rise from the crew members' ignorance of the usage of safety equipment, evacuation techniques, and communication protocols. In order to lower the danger of accidents and associated with the legal consequence, training programs frequently place a strong emphasis on compliance with international maritime standards. And then third, which is poor crisis management and decision making. So the crews may find it difficult to make a wise judgment in high sea situations without the right training, which could cause confusion, panic, and also delay in responding. Inadequate crisis management training may make it difficult to allocate resources effectively in an emergency. And then inadequate navigate and seamanship skills. So the crews may be more vulnerable to mishaps, crashes, and grounding if they lack the necessary instruction in navigation and seamanship. Insufficient training makes it more difficult for crews to react appropriately to the bad weather, which raises the risk of mishaps. And then lastly is the limited technology proficiency, which is the modern navigation and communication technology may be misused and error that can cause to and that can cause by inadequate training, putting maritime safety at risk. So lastly is the influence of decision making on the maritime safety and emergency situations. So there are five in total. So which is first, delay response to emergencies. Second, increased severity of accidents. Third, communication breakdowns. Fourth is resource misallocations. And lastly is poor risk assessment. So for the delay response to emergency, which is in emergency situations, the poor decision making can cause delays in determining and prioritizing actions, resulting in a slower and less efficient response. So if prompt action is not taken, the situation can worsen and endanger the crew as well as the ship. Second is increased severity of accidents. So ineffective decision making could keep the personnel from implementing the necessary corrective measures to lessen the effects of accidents or stop them from getting worse. Third is communication breakdowns. So the misunderstanding and the uncertainty among the crew at the important times might result from inefficient decision making, which can lead to communication breakdowns. Moreover, a crew member inability to coordinate with one another as a result of a poor communication could impact of the group's ability to respond to emergency collaboratively. Fourth is resource misallocation. So the inefficient use of resources such as laborers, tools, and times can result from incompetent decision making. So when poor decisions are made, emergency response may be less successful than they may be, which can lower the efficiency of safety precautions. Lastly is poor risk assessment. So a comprehensive evaluation of risk is necessary for making effective decisions. Making the poor decisions might make it difficult to recognize and respond to the possible risks. So moreover, the early warning indications and indicators of impending emergency could be unnoticed in the absence of the proactive decision making.
And next is the case study. The case study we have two incidents, which is the first one is Exxon Valdez oil spill, and the second one is the Costa Concordia disaster. For the Exxon Valdez oil spill, on March 24, 1989, the oil tanker Exxon Valdez ran aground on a big reef in Prince William Sound, Alaska. The spill causes significant environmental harm to the local town, coastline, and marine life by releasing almost 11 million gallons of crude oil into the pristine water. So here we have two factors. The first one is human factors, and second is the lesson learned. For human factor, the tragedy brought to a number of critical human variables that including as awareness, insufficient crew training, and poor decision making that can contribute to the catastrophe. It was discovered that the skipper, who had been drinking before the incident, was exhausted and made a lot of mistakes in communication and navigation. So, through this incident, the lesson that we can learn that the Exxon Valdez oil disaster made it clear how crucial it is to take the human aspect into the account when designing maritime safety. And it also led to modification in regulation and industry-wide initiative to enhance navigation protocol through training and fatigue management. This is the proposed strategy to enhance human performance and to reduce the occurrence of accident at sea. So the strategy here, we have five strategies. The first strategy is comprehensive training programs. Second is simulations and virtual reality training, footage management, technology integration, and lastly is safety culture development. For comprehensive training program, it's create and execute well-structured training curriculum covering a broad spectrum of competencies necessary for maritime worker. Second is simulations and virtual reality training that include cutting-edge virtual reality and simulation technology in training curriculum. Third is footage management that provide the precise instruction for controlling crew footage, such as rest interval and rotational schedule. And second last, technology integrations that make an investment in cutting edge monitoring, collision avoidance, and navigation system. And the lastly is safety culture development that create an organization culture that puts safety first, giving it a precedence over operational efficiency. And lastly, the conclusions. So, human factors significantly influence maritime safety and emergency situations. So, through this report or paper that highlight how critical it is to address this issue in their world through the analysis of the case study and the suggestion of a solution to improve the human performance. The maritime sector can work to create a more secure and resilient maritime environment by putting the recommended solution into practice, which will lower the risk of accident and protect both human life and marine ecology. So as we can see, the maritime company give their employer the skill and resilience they need to navigate through a variety of operational circumstances safely by giving priority to troop training program, utilizing cutting-edge simulation technology, and efficiently managing crew tiredness. So in a nutshell, lowering the number of maritime incidents require more than just putting a practical policy into place. It will also require encouraging a culture of safety that permeates every member of the nautical community. From the top down, the maritime industry may sit toward a future where the safety is integrated into all phases of operation, that resulting in reduced accident rate, less environmental damage, and improved general health for both maritime workers and the world marine ecosystem.